Okay, so today we're talking about converting unit rates. In science, they might call it dimensional analysis. In 6th grade, you did this when you looked at unit rates, so anything over 1, and then you started converting. In 6th grade, it was probably a little overwhelming because it did multi-steps. You had to convert things like centimeters to inches or inches to miles, things that were a little crazy, liters to gallons, lots of converting. In science, it's pretty simple, maybe 1 or 2 units you have to convert. Raise your hand if you remember converting, like feet to miles or something like that. You remember that stuff? Okay. So you do this at the beginning of 6th grade. Some teachers spend a lot of time on it because they really want you to get it. Most teachers don't because they can see the look on your face of being overwhelmed and they move on. Okay? So what we decided to do this year in 7th grade was definitely teach you it. You do need it. But instead of having you convert, 20 different types of units of measurement, we're sticking to 3 or 4 so that you can just get the concept down without having to change from gallons to liters the next day or the next problem. So we're only going to deal with feet, miles, seconds, minutes, and hours. That's it. Nothing else. No yards, no inches, no centimeters, nothing like that. Yeah?
Are we going to learn how to convert them into each other?
Yes. That's what I'm going to show you today. So we're going to start off like simple problems where it's just like a one-time conversion, and then we're going to go up to 3 times we have to convert, which is the hardest problem. Okay? But that's as hard as we're going to make it for you guys. I'd rather you understand the idea and the concept than have to convert 20 different things. Okay? So here's your example. This is the fish problem. This is a super fast fish. It says a fish can swim 60 miles per hour. MPH is miles per hour. I think you know that. How many feet per hour is this? So we have miles, and we're going to convert to feet, right? We don't have to change the hour. Okay? It says miles per hour, and now we want feet per hour. So this is a 1 unit conversion. Notice I underline the things they're asking you to do, right? Convert from feet to hour. Anytime you get one of these word problems, you should underline what they're asking you to do. So first of all, to convert our feet or our miles into feet, we need to know how many feet are in a mile. Does anybody remember that number? It's a big number. You remember?
Is it like 2,000?
It's more. You remember?
Oh, 10,000?
No.
5,876.
You're close.
5,128.
Close.
5,300.
You're all very close. So here is the definite number. Write that down. Put a box around it because you're going to use it several times. Now, probably after you've used it 5 or 6 times, you'll remember it. Okay? Practice makes us remember things, so. You guys know that saying, practice makes permanence?
Perfect.
No.
Practice makes perfect.
Really? Can you be perfect?
Yeah.
Permanence. Permanence. Okay? So now we know, okay, there's 5,280 feet in a mile. Now some of you who are little math geniuses, like my son, would do this without having to write anything else down, right? You would just get your calculator and you would know what to do, right? Okay, don't grab a calculator yet. Don't worry, I did the math for you right now. So what I have here is if I'm converting my 60 miles in 1 hour, I can write it as a unit rate. It makes it a little easier. I know there's 5,280 feet per 1 mile, so I write it like that. The biggest challenge for people is not figuring out what goes into what, it's figuring out how to write it, how to set it up, I should say. Okay? So if you look here, we have 60 miles over 1 hour, and I'm trying to get rid of the miles, right? You guys know I'm trying to get rid of the miles here. I'm trying to go to feet, right? So to get rid of miles, I want to make sure that I write the miles diagonal so I can cross cancel. Remember cross canceling just like a week ago?
Yeah.
Okay? So now I circle. I have feet per hour, which is what I want. That's what my word problem says. So now what do? I multiply. Good. So I do 60 times 5280, and I get this big number. I end up with the feet per hour. So I get 316,800 feet per hour.
How did you,
Multiply.
why'd you multiply it then?
Well, we have 60, right?
I don't get it if you're there.
Okay, we're going to do another one. I think it'll help you. Just keep watching. So you have 60 miles. Instead of miles, we're converting to feet.
Oh.
Okay? And if there's 5,280 feet in 1 mile, how many are in 60 miles? That would be a multiplication problem. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. So, who feels like they don't need to set this kind of stuff up? They could just know that they have to multiply by 60. Okay. This is what my son does too. He comes to me and says, oh, just multiply by 60 and then 60 and divide by that. And he doesn't write anything down. Drives me crazy. Okay? So some of you will probably get to that point where you don't have to write it down. You already know where you're going because these are pretty simple as far as what we're converting. But most of us are going to write everything down every time, right? So that we know we're getting it right. Let's look at another example. Mike walks 7 feet per second. How many feet per hour is this? Okay, so Mike, he's walking 7 feet per second. Pretty fast, right? Fast. How many feet per hour? So you notice I underline where it starts. It starts with seconds. Where are we going? We're going to hours. Do we have to change the feet? No, the feet are the same, but we need to change our seconds into hours. So this would be 2 conversions. Right? How many seconds are in a minute? How many minutes are in an hour?
60.
Okay, so we have to do this twice, right? The 60 and the 60 again. So, for those of you who are like, I can do that in my head or my calculator really fast, you would know 7 times this times that. Most of us need to set it up and see it though, right? Who feels like they need to see it? I do. Okay? So the setup is like this. First you start with the unit rate. And then we want to try to set it up so things will cross cancel. Okay? So we have our 7 feet per 1 second is equal to the 7 feet per 1 second. I want to get rid of the seconds first. So that tells me I write this one up here, the 60 seconds, so I can cross cancel the seconds. So 60 seconds in 1 minute. And then I want to get rid of the minutes. So I write 60 minutes in 1 hour because you see I want to go to feet per hour. That's in my word problem. So now it's the 7 times 60 times 60. Since it's all over 1, you would divide by 1 really, but you don't have to do that, right? You know. So 7 times 60 times 60, now I have 25,200 feet per hour. Yep. 7 times 60 times 60.
So he pretty much walks 5 miles.
It's not asking to go to miles, but you could convert to miles if you wanted to. You'd have to divide by 5280. Okay? So 25,200 feet per hour. Yeah.
The way you set it up, isn't it like multiplying fractions? Because it just
It is. It's just multiplying across and then multiplying the bottom, but since the bottom's all ones, we don't have to really divide by 1. Right? Anything over 1 is the same number. Okay, so we're going to look in the book at a couple more problems. It starts on page 28. I'll put the book up here in just a moment. And we're going to practice a couple things and then do a little bit more on our own, see if we can get it. So 28, number 2.